Welcome to Advertisers React, episode 3. I'm Travis.
I'm Ryan.
And this is, like I just said, our third episode. Our last episode was with Pepsi, and Pepsi actually reached out to us, and now we are officially sponsored by PepsiCo.
We turned down Coca-Cola.
So yeah, sorry Coke.
Yeah.
So today, Kelsey, who's behind the camera, do you want to say hi, Kelsey?
Hi.
Kelsey picked out some videos for us, so it's a little less biased. Last time I picked a couple, he picked a couple. Yeah, this time it's gonna be completely fresh. So Kelsey, what we're doing this time is we are doing old school ads. What did you call them? Vintage ads. We're talking from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So we're just gonna go ahead and dive right in.
The Wild Wild West.
All right, so this is fresh stick deodorant, which
Yes.
I could use a little bit of right now.
I bought the fresh stick, just as you told me. You're
Kinda sounds like she's
absolutely
saying
right.
something else.
It's neat and quick, and it goes on dry. It did make me feel cool and sweet, just as you said. I did everything you said, but my boss still hasn't asked me to lunch.
Unlike some deodorants, Fresh doesn't guarantee you'll get ahead in business. All Fresh does is keep you fresh.
When you think of it, that's quite a lot.
Oh, that was awful.
It's interesting. Do they keep it like in a mason jar?
That left a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know. I didn't like that ad at all. Yeah, and the packaging was terrible. Like, what even was that? Like, they made it like sexual too. Like, the deodorant coming out of it was like sexualized. That was a weird commercial. I don't know.
So that was interesting. So I'm trying to think of things in context at the time. So it was a woman in the workforce, and she was kind of joking about how like she almost like wants the boss to hit on her and ask her out. And so like this was a way for her to get asked out by the boss with the deodorant, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Which is really a way to advertise to the men in their fantasy. I'm assuming, right? It's not. They're not
Possibly.
trying to advertise to the woman per se here. They're trying to advertise to the men to say, you know.
I guess I could see both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, so now we got Goodyear. This should be good. All right, starting it over.
This flat
Needs a
tire
man.
needs a man, but when there's no man around,
Setting for a horror movie.
This music, though.
when there's no man around,
Here we
Goodyear should be. Why? Watch this. New Goodyear Double Eagle carries its own spare inside. Lifeguard safety spare. A tire in a tire. Keeps on going. Next time.
go. I love the
Give it a
product
second
innovation,
chance.
but dang, why do they have to make everything so sexual?
Or gender specific. I guess.
Gender specific,
Yeah.
not sexual. Gender specific. Why? Like, what is the point of that? I mean, really, it really says an ode to the time. Like, we weren't alive back then, and
Right.
you know, we don't even really watch movies or anything from back then.
Yeah.
So to say that we understand is hard to say, but like, wow, like
So-
that really was everything.
So I can imagine that being
Gender roles.
very, very effective though, in the sense of you know, whether it be the husband being afraid for her wife or the wife being
for his
afraid for
wife.
herself.
Yeah.
Because at that time I don't know like if it was, you know,
There's some fear mongering in that.
but like who's the like the main buyer at the time? Like I don't know what decade that was. If it was like the 50s or the 40s or something like that. Like if the main buyer of a household at that time was men, then maybe they're trying to be like, oh, this
Of a
is going to
household.
protect your wife. Well, at the time of that decade, like if it's like who's the main breadwinner of a home? Like I don't know how many women were in the workforce at that time.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Well, that's what I mean. I'm trying to like figure out like who they're trying to sell it to.
still
Yeah.
though, to you can sell to a man without making it against women.
Oh,
You know
I'm
what I
not
mean?
saying it's against women.
Or-
I'm saying
well-
like they're selling it to a man in the sense of like it's going to keep her safe, or maybe they're trying to appeal to the woman.
This
so
is a
that
bad idea, Kelsey.
I mean, like coming across the sexist. I'm trying to like think in the
No, you're
mindset
not.
of the time. Yeah. So like I'm like this is me pushing as far to the limit as I guess I'll go. But I mean like maybe I don't know. I know it does seem like at the majority of the time it's appealing to women who will maybe get the tire because they feel like they're not going to get attacked on the street.
No, I think it's an effective ad, but I think it's almost like immorally effective. Like they're using fear mongering and they're using gender biases to sell the product. When I think it's a great product innovation, and they could have like that was almost like the most obvious like ad for them to write. Like, oh, we have a tire within a tire, so let's sell it with he wears a terrible situation where you get a flat tire, but you're not stuck there anymore in that terrible situation. Well, the most terrifying thing they could think of was a woman being by herself and not being able to handle that.
Yeah. I mean,
which
like I
again,
said,
it works for the time, but yeah, really cringy now. Oh God. Wait, I can just hear that this is a white man doing this accent. Like, it's not even a well done accent. I'm gonna back it up a little bit.
Yeah, you should start it all the way over, man. This would. I can't believe this is real.
Back to present ancient Chinese pantomime, just for fun of it, Jello tonight. Back to present.
Wait, did you notice that their
Chinese
logo
baby
hasn't even
waiting
like
for
changed?
dessert.
Like they
Chinese
use the same.
mother
It looks like that's the
baby,
exact same
Jello,
font that they
famous
still
Western
use.
delicacy. Poor Chinese baby. He unable to tell if this Jello is strawberry, raspberry, jelly, orange, lemon, lime, apple, black raspberry, black jelly, or grape. Jello come in all 10 flavors. Poor Chinese baby. But Chinese
What,
mother
because
bring
it's-
baby
because
great
it's
Western
not in
invention.
color?
Spoon. Spoon was invented for eating.
You can't
Jello.
tell because it's black and white.
Baby find this is grape Jello. Deep, dark, delicious new flavor. Chinese baby very happy. So end
Was it?
ancient Chinese pantomime.
They use spoons
Is pretty
in
good
Asian
commercial.
cultures.
Yeah.
No?
Wow. Jello,
That was.
you have really blown me away. I never thought that Jello had this long history of pushing the boundaries of
race.
race. Holy.
Yeah,
so-
that was pretty cringy.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that only premiered in America,
Yeah, that was definitely an American ad.
right? My guess, and I don't know, my guess is that there was a time when a Chinese person was visiting America and was trying to eat Jello with chopsticks, and then he got the idea because it seemed like who would have even known that Jello couldn't have been picked up with chopsticks unless they had seen someone try. It seems like, I don't know, like that's how it was like almost the idea was born.
I think it came from them just being like, how do we eat? It's really easy to eat Jello with a spoon. You can't eat it with anything else. So how do we like make eating it with a spoon cooler and everything else not as cool? Like, oh, what's the farthest thing from that? Oh, you can't do it with a chopstick. Let's make this racist.
Yeah, I guess it's also, like parents, and it's like, what can we feed a kid? And it's so easy to eat that even a baby could eat it.
Yeah.
I guess.
That would be a good campaign. So easy, a baby could eat it. I mean, why didn't they just go with something like that? Like, anyone can eat the Jello, eat it with your hands, whatever. You have a monkey eating Jello, that's cool. They really had to go with making fun of the customs of another country and how they eat their food.
The voice applied to that commercial was so bad and out there that I thought it was a joke at first. I thought that was just someone like in the here and now applying like a fake voice on top of it. Like that was outrageous. Oh my god. That, I mean, like out of the ones that have wowed me the most, that one definitely took the cake.
You're blushing a little bit.
I mean, I am wowed.
Lysol feminine. You just missed the end there. Lysol feminine hygiene. Please, Dave, don't let me be locked out from you. Doubt, inhibitions, ignorance. Often a wife fails to realize that doubts due to one intimate neglect shut her out from happy married love. So this is an ad that is acting as if it is a newspaper article, genuine content in the newspaper, but really it's sponsored content.
You're thinking of maybe native advertising.
Native advertising,
yeah.
correct. This is like an example of original native advertising where you don't see anywhere in here does it say that it is a sponsored, ad. It looks like it's a piece in a newspaper.
Yeah, okay, so this is targeting women, saying that Lysol will keep them clean enough to be a good lover, I guess, is what this is trying to say. Because it's about feminine hygiene
Playing
products.
on the same gender roles.
Right.
Fear-mongering that you won't have love if you don't use our product. It's really the same mentality that all of these ads have had, where it is fear-mongering amongst gender roles.
It's interesting that they're saying non-caustic, because Lysol, as I understand it, is like bleach. It's a bleaching agent, right? Like it seems like Lysol is not something you
concentrated germ killer.
seems like something you would not want to put on private parts. But
yeah, wait, what? Wait, I'm confused. It's a germ killer that you also use as a douche. I'm very confused.
Well, I don't know if that's what they're selling it as, but it's like, yeah, you rub it anywhere, everywhere, and it will keep you clean so that
No greasy after.
so that you can have a happy marriage.
So the term feminine hygiene back then didn't mean the same thing as it does today.
Okay, so it's not a body product.
Well, I'm getting
It is, I think.
feminine hygiene back then meant contraception.
Oh.
So birth control was illegal until 1965 for married couples and 1972 for single people. Lysol was the best-selling method of contraception during the Great Depression. So it was encouraged for women to use after sex as like spermicide.
Oh, wow. I
Holy
totally. Oh, wait, hold on. So, like, let me.
This isn't. Oh my God, this ad looks so different now.
Oh my God. They're so. They never say it that way, but they're.
Because it was illegal.
Yeah, yeah.
Contraception was illegal, but this was their way to say it.
Lysol.
They say it without saying
You
it.
dogs.
And
I can't believe these are all from brands that like exist today.
yeah, it's kind of like playing to like our basest, most like primal instincts when it comes to psychology, which is not always a good thing. It's like
Right.
at the time, some of the basest instincts are things like fear and things of like not feeling loved.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And like they take advantage of that and they kind of extrapolate it to the existing cultural sexism and racism of the time.
Definitely seems more primal. The Mad Men era is kind of primal, you know, in advertising.
Which was also the revolution of the time, which was, you know, previously they would just market the specific technical benefits of a product, and then they
Right.
move into the psychology of the product, you know, getting into
Selling
like,
the benefits.
yeah, like Sigmund Freud, Edward Bernays, thinking of more like psychoanalysis of like why someone uses a product, and it's not always the product just works well. It's like, I want to make my man happy, at like speaking of the times. So in a sense, it's revolutionary, but also in a sense, it's also some of the worst kinds of advertising that you can get, at least in retrospect. You know, it totally changed the game, but it changed the game at least in retrospect in a bad way. But we've fortunately moved and shifted into hopefully a more like refined perspective of what not to do.
That's all we got.
Yeah, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to follow us for more marketing and advertising related videos.
Sub.
And as always, thank you for watching. We're Dolo Digital.